Power Minerals Limited is a diversified ASX-listed mineral resource exploration company with trading code PNN. The company owns a portfolio of projects in key demand-driven commodities, including lithium, kaolin, copper, gold, as well as nickel, cobalt, and PGE. All those projects are located in high-quality mineral belts in Argentina and South Australia. Today, we're very glad to have the company managing director, Mr. Mina Habib, to tell us the story of Power Minerals. Welcome, Mina.
Thanks, Steph. Great to be here.
The company has changed its name from PNN to Power Minerals recently. Is that for any particular reasons?
In terms of the name change, I guess that reflects and talks to the nature of the business. So we're the new name in battery and technology minerals. And with this whole EV market and the minerals that we're exploring, it really talks to that business. So I think it's an exciting change, and it's a good reminder for us and for the investments in terms of how we're moving forward as a company.
So under the new name, could you please give us a brief introduction of the portfolio that Power Minerals owns and which of them have the highest priority on their working list?
Yeah, of course. So I'll start off with the Salta project. So that's our lithium brine project, and that's situated in the lithium triangle. And we've got a number of salars, but the total hectares there, we've got 14,000, one of them being JORC. So I'll expand on that as we move forward. So the next project, we've got the Musgrave project. So that's a nickel copper cobalt. We've also got the project on the Eyre Peninsula in South Australia, and that we're looking for exploring for kaolin and halloysite. And back to Argentina, we've got the copper gold project, which is our Santa Ines project. So a nice, diverse portfolio of quality projects. And like you've mentioned, high value commodities, really speaking to that name change in terms of power and EV.
Oh yeah, as you mentioned, people discussing EVs and battery technologies a lot. So lithium is one of the hottest topics when discussing this topic. So can you tell us more details about the lithium projects the Power Minerals has and its most attractive features compared to peers?
Yeah, that's a good question, I guess, and I'll be happy to answer it. So, as I mentioned before, situated in a lithium triangle, which holds 65% of the world's lithium. And I guess there's three key factors that really make that a distinguishing area to work in, and that's the high elevation, high evaporation rates, and low precipitation. And for us, as I mentioned, we've got 14,000 hectares across a different number of salars. When you look at the locations of our salars, so we've got the main ones are in Rincon, which is next door to Rio, and we've also got the Argosy, so an Australian listed company which has done extremely well. Our Inkawasi Salar, we're next door to Ganfeng Lithium. So once again, a major peer. We're watching these guys in terms of what they're doing, the result, and it's really important for our progress. And then we've got the Pasitos Salar, which is it's the most important in terms of the infrastructure. So it's really where it's located, power, water, and these factors play a major play. So our end game, we'll end up in Pasitos. So in terms of our strategy, it's crucial. But once again, it's having these peers next door, being situated next to them, talk to the value that we're looking to unlock, and that's going to be done by advancing exploration in an aggressive manner. So there'll be back-to-back drilling. Say for the next 6 to 12 months, we'll move from Inkawasi, which we're about to drill imminently, move straight to Pasitos. We've got 7,000 hectares there, and this time we've got a salar there that hasn't been drilled. So we're going to go deep. We're going to put a resource on Pasitos. We're going to go back to Rincon and put a pumping well. So at the end of the day, we're having these great conversations with third parties for non-binding offtakes and so forth. So we want to know exactly how much we have and align that with the strategy moving forward. So a very exciting project, a great plan in place, and also third parties which are very keen. They've had a look at our project. There's been a number of discussions. And the reason you enter into an MOU is to get that executed. And there's a clear goal to produce a concentrated brine and to sell it to German, and they've got quality offtake. They've got quality commercial partners. If you look at the car manufacturers which they provide with, you know, everyone is really, it's very in demand. So we believe that our strategies that we have currently will put us in a good position moving forward.
What's the current plan on Salta lithium project in details, and how things are proceeding so far?
Yeah, so things are proceeding really well. So we recently announced the first phase of the MOU with Sunresin. So we've done the simulation study. They've looked at the composition of our brines, and they're confident that it's compatible with their DLE technology. So this is a major step for us. So we've got physical brine being sent to them, 40 litres from each salar. They'll run it through their desktop plans, and we'll get a better understanding of how that's going to look. I guess, you know, I should touch on the point. So previously, that last question I should have answered was, you asked us what makes us different. So what makes us different to our peers is we've got a number of ways to move forward. So we're looking at the brine blending, which we know produced a high concentrate lithium concentrate product, lithium carbonate equivalent. And what we're trying to do now is assess that versus DLE technology. Obviously, this is strong planning, but at the end of the day, we need to put a resource, which we're doing. But in parallel to that, we're trying to fast track things. So we're looking at the best way to move forward. Is it the evaporation model using traditional ponds to give us that high concentrate through the blending, or is it going to be DLE? DLE is looking fantastic, and I guess a lot of the feedback, and I guess what the market needs to really grasp is that there are projects with higher quality lithium in the ground, but the DLE space has really changed things up. So lower grades can still be compatible with the technology and lead to an ability to extract enough lithium to have a battery grade product. So we're in a great position because the timing of these DLE coming to market, but also we've got two salars that have worked brilliantly together in terms of having a high concentrate, but also low impurities. So this how we move forward. We'll continue to talk to the market, but as they can see, we're doing the work on both sides.
Lovely. Besides the memorandum of understanding you just mentioned, we noticed early in this month's company also announced another memorandum of understanding with a Chinese company. So also in respect of a Santa lithium project, can you tell us a bit more about this and the background of the partner?
Yeah, of course. So Jarman, if you look at their market cap in AUD, they're equivalent to $4 billion. So they're a big player. They're a supply chain giant. So they're the second biggest in China for logistics, and they're the second biggest in terms of national storage enterprise. So in terms of being able to put together a supply chain plan, that's going to be very important for us at the right time. And if you look at the MOU, there was three aspects that it covered. So it covered a non-binding offtake. So obviously we want to produce a concentrated brine to provide to Jarman, and also they've also looked at providing funding and logistics support, which is going to be very important for us because we've got salars in different locations. So how we pipeline that and work work towards bringing it to a production is going to be important, and they're going to play a role in that. So I think it's an important part of the MOU, which I hope that the market really understands. We're dealing with a big player that wants our lithium concentrate. They want us to be successful, and in order to do that, they're going to provide that support. So we're very happy to have that relationship. There's a shared vision, and we're doing, both companies are beginning to do their DD. We're about to send them 40 litres from each salar as well. So there's a lot of synergy between Power Minerals, Jarman and Sunresin, because we've got a technology that we know that works, and Jarman can see that. So it's good. So it's a watch this space. We're going to continue to keep the market updated on how we move forward, but all three parties, have the shared goal, which is important in any business.
Beautiful. So, as you mentioned, the memorandum of understanding currently is non-binding. So, how confident do you think this can be, like binding agreement can be executed, and when, and how, like currently, is there any progressions on this work?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's important that we still need to do work for that to be executed as non-binding. But the first major step was the results from Sunresin's simulation study. So that Jarman's they're getting those results as well. So they're assessing it. They're going to get the same brines that we're sending them brines as well. So if the brine testing goes well on the desktop study, then I think that's going to be the next big tick. And then we start looking at next steps will be pilot plans and so forth. But in parallel to that, we've got to keep in mind that it's very important for us to put resources. We need to JORC resources on Inkawasi and Besitos, and to understand what's in the ground at a deeper level. So it's great to have these plans, and we're going through the motions. But at the end of the day, we need to really prove up our resources and be credible in that way. And we're going to do the work. It's going to be back-to-back drilling. I've just come back from Argentina. I'm going to be back there again shortly with our geo. So it's a big part of our business, this lithium project, and we do mean business. So continue to watch it play out.
A very busy schedule for you. So you mentioned about the production. If everything goes well, roughly when do you think expect the production of Santa Lithium projects can commence?
Yeah, that's a great question, Steph, and it's a hard one to answer in terms of timelines, because obviously we've got to advance exploration, and that does take some time. But you can see from our end, we're doing everything possible, and I guess we're trying to monetize the project to produce a lithium concentrate to a certain percentage and then sell it off. So if we're going to be using DLE, we'll get it to a certain percent, and that our offtake partner will be happy with. And then obviously they'll put in the supply chain plan to get that out to their commercial partners. So we won't be building that end plant. It will be concentrate to a certain level. And with lithium prices, continuing to be steady and the demand of EV, we believe that this business model works well for us and for shareholders. We do have a lot of catching up to do, and we believe this is the best way to move forward in terms of the numbers. That's it's once again a great plan, but the numbers will do the talking. So we've obviously got advanced exploration, look at PEA, look at scoping, and go through that process. So the goal is there, and it's set, and it's exciting, and it's not going to be too long, hopefully. So
what about the drilling programs on other projects you have? Also, are there any other further partnership on the discussions regarding to those projects?
There's a lot that's been happening. It's definitely been a really busy quarter. Yeah, so we've drilled. I'll stick to Argentina first. So we've had 5 diamond core holes drilling program completed, and the results are imminent. So we're waiting on that. And once again, it's just to send a strong message that, the company's been sitting on these projects for a long period of time. We mean business, and the money, I expect as a director, as an investor, is that the money is spent, predominantly on the ground. And that's where we're going to unlock the value. So we're really trying to send that clear message. So we're waiting on the results for the gold copper project back to Australia. So we've got the Eyre Peninsula kaolin halloysite project. And we've finished 128 air core resource definition drilling. That's been completed. Once again, results are imminent. We also are looking for rare earth elements. We've seen our peers identify that. So it's something to be looked at. And once again, the last few months, we've spent a lot of time. We've looked at external experts in each space to help us with the plan. and set up in ways of moving forward. So it's great. We're awaiting the results, but how we differentiate ourselves with the kaolin and halloysite, we've got a strategy in place which we'll communicate to the market in time. And we're lucky enough to have, David Turvey on our board, who's a kaolin expert, who lives in South Australia. So really working with him closely, spending a lot of time with him as we look at driving these projects moving forward. The Musgrave nickel copper project, cobalt project in South Australia. So Power's got a farming joint venture with Rio Tinto, and this project really does get us excited behind closed doors. There's an anomaly there. So if you look at the geophysics, there's a pink slipper anomaly, which our geos feel this could be a company maker. So it's one of those targets which could really change the dynamic of the company overnight. So this is, I'd say, and I'm just quoting them, probably Australia's highest potential target when it comes to a nickel copper project. And obviously it's in our own backyard. So we're working with the APY traditional landowners, very respectful, of their requests, but we are hoping to move forward. And if we can get on the ground there, then Power Minerals will be sitting at, it will be a different ballgame.
So apparently Power Minerals owns a very diversified asset portfolio. So any plan for expanding these projects or further acquisition?
I think every company should be always assessing mergers and acquisition, and this is a focus for us. We're always trying to build value. So if it's in the lithium space and we're in Argentina, we're in a lithium triangle, we'll continue to look. So that's just a given. So if anything does transpire, we'll definitely keep the market open. But we are entrepreneurial thinkers. We've got a new way of working at the company. And it's a big part of our business to continue to look at our projects and how we can grow our portfolio and add value. Let's see how things progress.
So regarding to the cash position, does the company have sufficient funds for supporting those working plans like in midterm?
Yeah. So don't quote me on the numbers, but I think we're roughly at that $3 million mark. And once again, the MOU with German, that did mention funding. So as we really try to fast track things, there's going to be a lot of money that's required to do that, and it's great to have that support. And I've seen them work with other companies and really support them financially. So as we continue to progress and tick boxes, we hope that it's executed, and then they're able to support us, not only in terms of an offtake, but that funding and that logistic support. So it's a very, it's been an ongoing conversation, and they're very clear of the amount of money needed to advance exploration and what pilot plans and what that entails. So it's good to have that support. So at this stage, there's $3 million in the bank. And we've also got, a partner that we can, if we execute the MOU and it's binding, we can then, start working with them and, increase our funds to do so, because, it's always, back-to-back drilling isn't cheap, but it's equally as important.
So to conclude, can you help us to conclude what we can expect from Power Minerals in the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, I think the first thing to expect is clear communication. This is, as a junior mining company, investors should expect of being open. It's very transparent. We're also available to pick up the phone call, have a chat to me, and understand our thinking process as a business. I think that's really important, because we're energetic, we're excited. We believe we've got a great portfolio to work with. And a lot of value that we want to unlock from each of them. And in saying that, there's a strategy to do so. So it works hand in hand. So investors should expect open communication, news flow, and just, continued ways of looking to grow the business. Of what I mentioned, entrepreneurial thinking, and we've definitely got that in place. So, a lot to like, but we're open to chat at any time for investors' interest. And it doesn't worry me what your holding is if you've invested any money in our company. and you want to pick up the phone, I'm here to talk and really guide you through, what our plans are.
Thank you, Mayor, for your work and efforts. I believe it has been a very busy period for sending all those good news to the market. We're definitely very look forward to seeing further progressions from Power Minerals in the next financial year. Again, great thanks and hope everything goes well. We look forward to chat soon.
Thanks, appreciate it. Chat soon, all the best.